Fred here, welcome back to the Gear Obsession channel, and what I have here for you today is the ThruNite Neutron 2C 1100 lumen flashlight. This flashlight is not a one-trick pony flashlight. It has quite a few tricks up its sleeve besides the 1100 lumens that this thing can broadcast downrange. It also has multiple tubes. You could take one out here and use various batteries. It is also rechargeable through that USB or micro USB port right there. And it has an infinite number of settings to set between low and high power. So you could go as low, in the normal range by the way, as low as 12 lumens and bring it all the way up to 650 lumens, and you have an infinite number of settings in between. And then of course you can hit the magic double button there and you can go to turbo and it will throw 1100 lumens downrange. You could also put this into a Firefly mode where it will only be a half a lumen. And this flashlight also came with the battery that's already inside, along with everything I'll show you here in one moment. Just want to let you know that there are two links in the description box below. One to Amazon and one to ThruNite. Right now, your cheapest place to get this flashlight is directly from ThruNite, where you can get it for $49.95. If you choose Amazon, you got the Prime thing going on, you could get it for $59.95. It's $10 or more. However, that will change or can change as time goes by depending on when you are watching this video. So this flashlight, or torch as they say in the UK, comes in this box. It had this little plastic thing wrapped around it to keep everything snug and closed. Flashlight came in this little plastic wrapper here, foam instruction manual right here. It's both Chinese and English. You can see right here. If you want to freeze that, please feel free to do so. And I never showed the English part. There is your technical parameters if you want to freeze that. What else do we have? We have some extra O-rings, lanyard, switch cover, all the things that ThruNite usually gives you. And we got a little holster, typical ThruNite holster. They add their little logo right there. Stretchy D-ring. Belt. You have to take your belt off to run it through. It's not velcroed on one side. And you also get a USB to micro USB charging cable and some silicone gel to keep things dry. The first thing you want to do when you get this flashlight is open it up. So we'll go ahead and unscrew it. It's easier to unscrew here, although you could unscrew it down here too, but the clip will rub as you're doing it, so it's easier to do that. And you can see there's a piece of paper right there. Take that out. That's so it doesn't inadvertently turn on during shipping. And here is the 3400 milliamp hour battery that comes included. It's rechargeable. It's an 18650 battery, 3.6 volts, and yeah, okay. Now you don't have to use this battery. You can use any 18650 battery as long as it's rechargeable. Of course, I think they all are. You could see in the knurling here there's a cut right there. That's because it's a separate tube, but you could unscrew. Notice I'm pulling up on this clip, or you could just remove. Can you remove? Yeah, you can remove this clip if you want to. I recommend you don't, because that prevents things from rolling even if you don't use the clip. But you can see you have another set of threads with O-ring. They're greased. They're square threads, if you could tell. So what this enables you to do is you can put this back on here, screw that on there. What you end up is you're able to use an 18650 battery or a single 18350 battery with just one tube. You could also use two CR123s with both tubes on, or you can use a single 16340 with one tube, or you could use two 16340s with two tubes, because you have a working voltage of 2.7 and 9 volts. Now, one thing you can't use, even though physically you can, is one CR123. It's not going to cut it. Based on everything I read, it's not going to work with one of those, and it doesn't list it does, so it's not saying it's doing something that it can't. Anyway, there's the thickness of the tube there. Let you take a look. Go ahead and pop that in there. Fits fairly tight. There's a little bit of rattle. Here's what it looks like in there. You can see ample grease. Make sure you screw this on nice and tight because you want it to maintain waterproofness. Because this is waterproof to the IPX8 standard, which is 2 meters underwater. Make sure, besides everything is screwed on tight, that you close the rechargeable thingy right there. And speaking of that, when you first get this flashlight, you want to go ahead and plug it in and charge it all the way up. Now you can see this comes off. You can see there's a little rubber thing, so you could take this off and replace it. I believe in the little baggie, when I was showing you all this stuff, they give you an extra two. I don't know if you can see that, but there's 2 extra of these little covers. That's really good and important to have, because if you're going to be going underwater with that, you want to make sure that is on tight. Now it's time to go through the output modes, runtimes. I'm going to go ahead and list them right up here. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out just a little bit to give us some room. There we go. So we have some room to list it up here. And one button, no tail cap button, or no tail button. So for those of you who have to have that, then that's a deal breaker. You can stop watching right now, because everything is done with the one button. This turns it on and off, as well as changes your modes. So go ahead and turn it on, one click. Turn it off, one click. By the way, no momentary. If that's a deal breaker, you can stop watching right now, because it's either on or off. So you got on, off. Now, if you want to change the brightness of this guy, you could go between 12 and 650 lumens. That's 130 days down to 2.7 hours. Just by when you turn it on, when you press and hold it, it will cycle. So I'll let you take a look at that. See how it goes dim. It double blinks to let you know it's at the bottom. Then it cycles all the way up. When it hits the highest brightness, it will double click and let you know. So it'll keep on going up and down, and when it hits the limits, the high and the low, it gives you a couple of blinks to let you know. I'm going to go ahead and press and hold it and bring it down to somewhere in between there. Now if you want to go to the turbo mode, which is the full 1100 lumens that this guy could do for 2.2 hours, you double click it. So we'll double click it, and there it is. Let you take a look at what the beam looks like. Let you take a look at what it looks like down here. See a very clean spot. Nice clean flood. We'll be taking a look at this outside here shortly, but you can see very nice. Next thing we'll look at is the strobe. So while it's on, you double click it, it goes to turbo, double click it again, and you got your strobe light. So you don't have instant access to strobe, you got to sort of work your way to it. Now this also has a Firefly mode, which is only a half a lumen, and it can do that for 49 days, believe it or not. All you do is, while it's off, you press and hold it, and there you go. And you can't even tell when I have it down here. You have to literally look at it there to see that you are in Firefly mode. Want to get out of Firefly mode, you click it, turns it off. Now if I click it again, it's going to come back on where I left it in that variable. So I sort of like came down halfway in that variable infinite number of normal operation runtime lumen. So if I click it on, it's going to come on wherever that is. So it has a memory of the 12 to 650 lumen range. Go ahead and turn it off. So there's your operation, your runtime, your lumens, all that good kind of stuff. So your cons here at this point is you have no momentary, no tail switch, and no SOS. If you notice, you have strobe, you don't have SOS. So what you'll have to do with SOS is, I guess you have to go like that or something like that, because you don't have it built in and you don't have the momentary to be able to do it quickly. So not ideal for you know, you're camping, use it as a rescue light. This is more of an EDC, if I had a classify medium-sized EDC. So let's look at the physical attributes of this flashlight. You have a nice anti-glare lens right there. You can see the purplish reflection going on instead of the outright glare of the sun or light. You have a smooth, deep reflector, so this should be a good thrower. The emitter is an XP-L V6 version 6 emitter. You can get this flashlight in both cool or neutral white, whatever you want, just select it. Anodized black finish over a aluminum alloy body, just like 99% of the flashlights out there. Nice knurling right here. Tail cap, nothing. There's your lanyard hole right there. So this tail gives you the ability to do is you could set it up like a candle and light up the whole room. So if you have a power outage, you could just sort of, I'm going to keep this off camera there so I don't blind you, but you could just sit it there and it will reflect off the ceiling and just light up the whole room. Clip, really nice, and if you don't like it, it's removable, but if you remove it, this will probably roll very easily. That clip sort of helps prevent that. So in the specs that I also put in the description box below, it says this thing is 86 grams without the battery. Who carries a flashlight without the battery? Let's see what it weighs with the included 18650 battery. Looks like about 4.62 ounces. Okay, it's about dusk out. It is probably going to be like pitch black in about 15 minutes, but it might be raining any minute. So here we are. In my backyard, all the way down here is about 15 yards, right there in the corner, I would estimate. I'm going to go ahead and turn my lights out. There we go. You can actually hear some of the rain. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put this on in turbo. That's 1100 lumens, and you can see how impressive. You can actually see some of the water vapor right there, the mist. That's pretty cool, but just look. You can actually see the whole beam. That is pretty impressive there. Perfect conditions to be able to see that. And just look at that. That is amazing. So you can sort of see the flood and the spot. We could actually just sort of get in down range there. And you can see how it's cutting through the fog. Very impressive. Very, very impressive. 1100 lumens. So my conclusion is I do recommend this, but I only recommend it for people who want to use it as an everyday carry kind of flashlight. It is probably not the most ideal for camping, only because it doesn't have that SOS feature in there unless you plan on being able to do that with your hand. And it's not a tactical flashlight because it doesn't have momentary, and it doesn't have the crown bezel, even though it does have the strobe. It sort of has like bits and pieces of everything, but not quite everything to fit under one category definitively. So I'm just going to classify this as a medium-size EDC that you could sort of use for everything, but mostly just EDC. And again, those amazing tricks that this thing can do, 1100 lumens, multiple battery options, and rechargeability with the battery included for, you know, either $50 or $60 depending on which link or what the price happens to be at the time you are purchasing and viewing this video. But again, I do recommend it. It's solid. It's a ThruNite. Never had issues with them. They're great flashlight. Always recommend it. Alright, well, thank you very much for joining me here at the Gear Obsession channel. I really do appreciate every friend, viewer, subscriber, and especially you. And I hope you have a great day or evening. Take care. Bye.